So the meeting is now called to order. We do have a quorum tonight. All commissioners are here except for Commissioner Norton. And if we could, please stand and pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go into the approval of the minutes from the January 9th commission meeting. The minutes have been distributed to you, and we do have a quorum of those who attended the January 9th, 2024 meeting. Do we have any corrections? None. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes as written from the January 9th, 2024 Rec Commission meeting.
Do I have a second? It has been moved by Commissioner Saha and seconded by Commissioner Rand that we approve the minutes as written from the January 9th, 2024 Recreation Commission meeting. I will now call for a vote. Can we?
Just tap your screens and it should bring up your voting.
Yeah, tap the screen. Can we all please vote?
I did, I voted. Mine is not showing. I'm not jumping. This screen.
It's not this screen.
There we go. No, you already voted. It's good.
Oh, me?
Yep, voted.
So who's not voted too?
No, I'm not showing up on the screen.
You're on the far upper right.
I know that.
Oh.
Oh,
It's not showing up here.
I missed you. I'm sorry. I'm used to 7.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Let's try that again. There we go.
There we go.
Everybody would please vote.
Please vote again.
The right screen.
There we go.
The motion passes 8-0. Thank you. And the minutes have been distributed to you, and we have a quorum of those who attended the January 24th, 2024 work session. Commissioner Bowers asked you not to vote on this one. I will now call for, excuse me. Are there any corrections to that?
There was, there is, I don't know, Amber, what do we do about this?
I think I sent an email back to you that, yes, ma'am, that we updated we had on the record that the GDOT project was related to Old Rucker. I was under the impression that there were 2 projects, park bond projects related to that there was Old Rucker and Farmhouse, and I was mistaken. So the update, or there has been an update to the work session under Q&A regarding Old Rucker to now say Farmhouse.
Okay. Any other corrections? If not, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes as written from January 24th.
Do I have a second?
Second. Well, you have, that's been corrected, yeah.
The minutes presented to you now have the correction. They were updated in the agenda packet prior to the meeting.
This was my correction, it was on you, and this was Farmhouse, not
So the one online has been updated to say Farmhouse. Unfortunately, the printed copies don't have record of that change. but they were updated today. I apologize that the written,
So then what should Carla say? Should she say as written, because that's what's
Written online.
Her motion is correct as stated because the online version is the current version.
fair enough? Okay.
Okay.
That's what I'm- Sorry.
So we do have a motion,
I'll second.
and we
Then
had
that.
seconded. It has been moved by Commissioner Piedro-Ita and seconded by Commissioner Keegan that we approve the minutes as written from the January 24th, 2024 Rec Commission work session. I will now call for a vote. All those in favor, please just vote. The motion passes. 7 yes, 1 abstain, 1 not voted. So, yes, we're good. Thank you. Old business, I don't believe we have any old business, and I don't believe we have any new business to discuss. Am I wrong on that, or does anybody have anything? If not, we're going to go right into the staff presentations and workshop discussions. So, Community Services Division, it appears that Amanda is out sick, and rather than having someone present her package, she'd like for the commission just to simply to reference the packet in the division's monthly update, please. So we'll move on to Cultural Services Division. Good evening.
Good evening. I just made it. I got held up in traffic tonight. So I was like, I'll have a report right before this one. Let me go ahead and share this real quick. Jumping ahead here a little bit. This is our new spring and summer. Oh, I wanted to we had a lot going on for this past month or 6 weeks. We had some fun recognitions and love to share with you a little bit. The Alpharetta Greenway Mural Trail, we recognized the artist and we recognized the artist and Rotary of North Fulton. Is it not focused? Okay. We recognized them at a Cultural Arts Commission meeting in December, and also the mayor read through a proclamation for them, basically kind of acknowledging all their work, and we're already beginning to work on this year's project. So they are starting to scout artists, and these are high school artists. So you can see the wonderful work they've done here in the different manholes. So just wanted to share that with you. I'm out of breath. I was running here to make it. So just give me a minute to catch my breath. I was like, I'm late. I don't like being late. We actually had here, we had Girls on Fire exhibit in the community gallery. And this was a really unique exhibit. We had art combined with music. The Alpharetta Symphony played music here in the rotunda, and then we had an art show that opened. Earthbound Gallery reception at the Alpharetta Arts Center. We had that on January 27th. We had 288 people show up.
That's awesome.
So it was really amazing. And we do share parking with Alpharetta Elementary. We have a great relationship with them, and they ask us frequently too. So that's how we can get through those larger events. Play It Again pianos. We had the Cogburn piano that we did, that we had the unveiling, and it's called Georgia, and it has, let's see, all these songs that you see here. It has all these songs listed. All these songs are about Georgia on the piano. So we had an unveiling, and we actually were on the news. This kind of unclear picture down here, I had to capture it with my phone real quick. I couldn't find it online, but I grabbed it with my phone. the new Arts and Culture Guide, which you just handed out. Please sign up for a class, you or your family. We have, I'm really proud of the classes. Staff has worked really hard on those. And you can see here, Megan, our supervisor, is doing a raccoon firing out in the parking lot. So we've started doing those. If you're not familiar with that, it's a glaze. It's like a way to fire a pot. And it gives a certain kind of metallic kind of look to it. Black History Month. We are acknowledging Black History Month with our youth through different classes. These are free classes that you can sign in, drop in, sign up for throughout the month. And please, if you have kids or if you know of people that do, please sign up for some classes. We've had a really good turnout so far. We are acknowledging our instructors, our Black instructors this month, and all of their accomplishments and what they bring. We have a wonderful group. Ashley King is one of our writers and journalists, and we've been working with her for about 2 or 3 years. This is kind of a fun project that we're doing throughout the month. People are cutting out silhouettes and adding it to the walls. So it's an ongoing mural project, so that will be happening throughout the month of February. This project, you've heard me talk about for a little while, and we're finally doing it. We have the documentary about Bailey Johnson community, and we've started interviewing people, and we've outreach to the community asking for them to share photographs, documents, history, and if you know of anybody that is a local and lived here, that knows someone, please, let them know that we're looking for information to add to the documentary. Our Music Match program, we're also included in acknowledging Black artists throughout the month. And so please catch one of these shows if you can. It's on our live music page. At the end of the month at the Alpharetta Arts Center, we have 2 actually really kind of unique concerts. We have the Afro Latin Sounds with the KT Collaborative. It's a free event on Friday night. And then on Saturday night, we have a Soul Train experience, which I just met with the producer today. Commissioner Gene Andrews introduced this event to us, and he, oh my goodness, what's the gentleman's name? Soul Train, the guy that does, what? Don Cornelius. He, it's about his life. They're unveiling a documentary about him, and they're doing a director's cut. They'll be showing that night. And they're releasing the full documentary at the end of this year. And then they're kind of activating an actual dance Soul Train at the event. If you can come out, we have Act 1 in this show, February 9th through the 18th. You can hop online and buy tickets. It's at the Alpharetta Arts Center. It's a great show. I have a funny story about it. This show, the set design, has a lot of trash around the set. They spent a lot of time setting up this trash. It doesn't look very nice. The cleaners came in and cleaned it all up. We didn't even think about telling them that it was part of the set design. So they had to come redo all the trash and collect trash. I just thought that was a funny story. Girls on Fire. This is the larger concert that I explained that we had a show here in the community gallery. This is a larger concert that this was. So please come out and attend this. It is. They did a collaboration with Arts Alpharetta, the Alpharetta Symphony did. And so they had an art show and a smaller performance here, and then they're leading up to their larger show on the 23rd. Any questions?
Hey, Kim, I do have a question. The 23rd at the Art Center, the Afro Beats, is that going to be hosted inside or outside?
They're both inside, both
Inside, okay.
concerts, Friday and Saturday night.
Cool, thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh. So I wanted to ask you, it looked like in the guide that there was a whole bunch of stuff about fashion for I think they were summer camps. That's like new. That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Did you guys just come up with that, or is that something you'd seen somewhere else, or?
She's been here for the past 2 summers.
Uh-huh.
And she brings her sewing machines. And the kids actually just sew. They design their costumes, they do a fashion show. And so it's been here for 2 years, and we fill up really quick with the canvas.
I should think. Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, my daughters have participated, and they asked for a sewing machine for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
So it's like hardcore, amazing production. Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. How's everybody tonight?
Good, thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. And in your packet, you have the new 2024 to 2029 Recreation Strategy for the Recreation Services Division. I hope you were able to take a quick glance through it before we came tonight. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer it. I'm just going to basically go through it just kind of on the surface. And I want to show you the changes that we have gone through in the past 4 years, 3.5 years, and where we were, kind of how we got there, and where we are now, and where we're going to go in the future. I have to say before I start that this was absolutely a team effort once again. The first one that we did was so much fun to do together as a team. And a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into the first one. So it actually made this one a little bit easier to do because we already had the basis for it. And again, we got staff together, had conversations about what they saw that's changed, what they see needs to improve, what we did great, and also where we want to go down the road. But we're not on a road this time. We're on the river. And that picture on the front is pretty much how I felt going on this journey. With Recreation Services, and I am in that boat, by the way. But it's ever changing in what we do every day, and sometimes it's calm, sometimes it's scenic, sometimes it's completely crazy going down the rapids. So that's what makes it fun, though. That's what makes it exciting. That's what makes our staff get up and come to work and do what we do every day. So let's go ahead and jump into the 2024 to 2029 Recreation Services Strategy. Let's see. Not much changed in the hello, just telling what we were about. Master plan still says what the master plan said. That hasn't changed. So here's some of the changes that we've had in the past 10 years. Granted, I piled on to what was already there because I started basically in 2016, which was right before we did the original master plan. Some of the additions that we've had since I did the last master plan, we added health and wellness to our programming, and that has grown exponentially. We created the North Fulton Special Needs Task Force. Preston Ridge Community Center opened. We also opened innovation. We had the agreement with Fulton County Schools to open innovation complex, sports complex, to use their fields. We added 2 new youth athletic associations. We saw Union Hill and the Grove activated for programming. In 2023, Gym 2 and the Alpharetta Community Center was repurposed for gymnastics. Yes.
So I guess I missed that. I didn't ever see, what happened? Didn't Gym 2 used to be necessary for youth basketball?
It did, but when Milton opened up their own basketball program, our numbers decreased. So we have gymnastics that's exploding at the seams between the team and recreational gymnastics, so we repurposed that gym for that reason.
So what's in there now? I mean, I'm going to come look, but what's
yeah, come look. It's more gymnastics equipment, and a lot of the time the team uses that area.
Oh, the team uses, they don't use the room with the...
They go back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, come take a look at it.
I will.
Yeah, Lindsay did a great job setting that up.
Okay.
We left everything in there in case we need to go back to it being a basketball court. We didn't change anything in there. We just need to move some equipment if that's the case. We also saw a reorganization that moved special events out of community services into the Recreation Services Division. That happened just last year. And we had some new special event venues that were added, Webbridge Park Trails and the Grove and Union Hill, which I mentioned before. And we also had a new city administrator that came on to the city.
So I have another question on this page.
Okay.
The Webbridge Park Trails identified for small 5K fundraisers. When did we start doing that?
We started doing those, I believe, about 2 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago. They're small groups.
Okay, because we've never had them, we've never had things in our parks before. We never wanted to close the park. Do you close the park for these events?
Well, they're usually done early on Sunday mornings. That's usually when they have them, and there's not a lot of people in there.
So you close the gates and nobody can come in?
No, they don't close the gates. They put up signs letting people know that there's an event going on the trails.
And the participants of the event don't mind if you're not allowed to walk on the trail while they're doing these events?
That's a good question. I mean, I haven't been around to know. You want to come address that, Morgan? Because I haven't gone through that yet with special events.
No, the trails are not closed during those times. So when they register the event with us, they know that people can be on that trail. So we don't close it down. But it's on Sunday morning, so the Webb Bridge Park trails get very little usage at 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. So it's worked out really well because it lets folks have these 5Ks without closing roads, without having to bring all the police officers in to close the roads and all like that. So it's worked out pretty well. And now we have limited the number. I mean, we're not taking everyone that comes. But,
Okay, fair enough.
But-
Because I know there was a concern years ago, we used to have marathons constantly
Right.
in Alpharetta, and they always wanted to be on the Greenway.
Right.
And the point was if we let them on the Greenway, they would have to close the Greenway, and that was a hard no.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're feeling like this is not interfering with
No.
and you're not going to expand it to
Not at all.
closing anything?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry.
Thank you.
In our program assessment, I just wanted to show you some of the changes that have happened, how we've kind of moved the bar. In fitness and wellness, that was a weakness when we started out 5 years ago. And we have moved that completely into one of our strengths. That program, again, like I said earlier, has grown by leaps and bounds, great offerings. That program area really shone during COVID, during the shutdown, as they were able to be outside and people were comfortable coming to free outdoor fitness activities. And we have a great coordinator now that just keeps coming up with great ideas and adding more and more. So that's going to keep going. Outdoor education, recreation. Outdoor, we've struggled with that a little bit. We have tree climbing. So, people tend to find a way to recreate outdoors on their own. They don't really need us directing that. But that is an area we're always keeping our mind and our ideas open to, so we can keep looking at what the trends are to see if there's any way we can fit a program in there. Special needs, that one also, we've moved it a little bit. It's in the middle, as you can see. That is a goal. That was one of our really strong goals for the next 5 years, just to really increase that programming. I have a coordinator who has had quite a bit of experience in the past. She's been doing other things in the meantime, but she really wants to step up and do some more special needs programming and really develop that program area for us. So hopefully by the time we do the next one, that will be over into the strengths. We crossed out education. We put that in there thinking that we would be looking at educational speakers coming in and doing those kinds of things for people. But the bottom line is what we do every single day teaches people. It's educational. People learn as they come into gymnastics. Kids learn skills, and they learn social skills. They learn physical skills. And it's kind of built into our programming already. And we decided it wasn't something we really wanted to focus on. A general interest. Again, that kind of goes with education, but we're always keeping our eyes open for any sort of trends that come along that might reach a bigger audience, and we're going to keep that in there and try to move it to the middle. Teens, they're a tough group. They're just a tough group, especially once they start driving, they're gone. But we have increased a little bit of program. We have our Teen Adventure Camp, and that has been very successful. And we also have teen basketball. We also have teen pickleball now. So we've got a little more programming going, and hopefully we can get a little bit more as time goes on. We do want to focus on some more performing arts in the area of adult dance, different types of performing arts that are recreational, that are instructional, and give a little more choices there to the public. Preschool, we have our Tot Time and our music and movement, and that is just catching fire. These little kiddos just want to come in during the day and just have a lot of fun, so we're really going to see if we can expand that programming and also bring families in. Moms and dads and caregivers come in and have them be involved in those as well. City and facility special events, you know what, they're top notch. The only reason I put them in the middle is because they just came into our division And some of us are still on a learning curve on that. And we're also continuing to find ways to fine tune those events. We also need to identify the events that Recreation Services was doing before special events came in and see if that's really where they belong and really define that a little bit better. So we're kind of marrying those two areas still. So that's why it's in the middle. Any questions on that? Yes.
As far as interest and that sort of thing, have there been surveys with any of the groups on the weakness side as to what they were looking for that they don't have?
You know, we did quite a few surveys. We did a series of surveys for special needs back right before COVID hit. And that was with the Special Needs Task Force. So we did get a lot of information out of that. But a lot of it was also geared towards adults with special needs. So that's something we're looking at as far as how we can meet those needs in our community. We do surveys after camps to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. We have a lot of conversations with people coming in and out of our facilities. But I know there's also been talk about doing a survey where we send it out to the community as a whole. And that is something we're going to be looking at as well to get feedback.
I guess I was particularly thinking about teens or the ones that kind of don't participate, like what their really needs are. Even if we provide it, would they really come and enjoy it, I think. All right, let me just think through that.
Yeah, that's something, we talked about going to the schools too and trying to talk to some of the kids there and see what they need, especially the tweens, what they're into, what they want to see. Gaming was hot for a while, but we just didn't really have the resources to do that, and we wanted kids active. We didn't want them, we thought it might be a good way for them to come socialize and then do some activities, but that has kind of gone out of the field to the gaming area. Okay. Not much has changed in here. This is also from the master plan goals, except I did highlight that it lack wayfinding signage. We did installation in the parks and the greenway facilities, and we began doing that in 2021, so that's something that's changed. These I'm just going to go through real quick. I highlighted these because I wanted you just to see how many changes there were throughout our facilities. So many great things have happened, and I know Morgan's going to be touching on those because he's, especially for the last year, all the improvements and the things that have changed in our department. But I'm not going to go through each one of these. I just kind of want to give you a visual of all the different great things that have happened at all of our facilities. Union Hill Park is probably the biggest change because we have the bond issue out there, and we've taken that hockey rink and turned it into just a beautiful event facility.
So Christine, can I
Yes.
stop you for a second?
Sure.
Go back a page to North Park.
Mm-hmm.
So under North Park, this page is what was on the master plan from 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you highlighted what you added in or what you did. So this idea of reworking the heavily wooded area, that's still like vague because I'll want to know all about that.
That was part of the master plan.
Okay.
That was on the master plan, so I didn't touch that. That's
Okay.
written in there.
So then they did install bocce ball.
Yes. we
So
did
it's
bocce
under,
ball.
it's under recommendations, but or are you thinking of expanding the bocce ball?
No, I didn't move it over, sorry.
That's fine, that's fine.
There's been so much going on.
No, I
missed
understand.
one
I'm
there.
just-
Thank you for
I
pointing
was
that
just
out.
looking.
I will move that over.
Yeah, move that over.
And again, this is just a sampling. There's so much more that isn't on here that I know Morgan has lists and lists and lists of. So this is just from my original recreation strategy. I'm just kind of highlighting what got moved over. But
Great.
there is a lot more than this. But thank you, Cheryl. I will move that over. Thank you. That's a win in the what's good column. Union Hill, again, so much going on out there. Webb Ridge, we had a couple of great things happen out there with the resurfaced tennis courts and repurposed 2 tennis courts into pickleball courts, and the beautiful entrance was upgraded. It looks great now. I'm sure there's plenty of other things going on out there as well. Dog parks going on out there, web zone, playground replacements going on. Upper Field, yay. Wills Park, again, lots of things have changed, lots of improvements, and again, Wacky World is one of the big things that's on the horizon there that affects my camps and all the kiddos in the park. Yes, Jet?
Would you consider the tennis court lighting as a recommendation? Would you consider the tennis court lighting as a recommendation topic?
I'm going to let Kurt answer that one. Tennis court lighting recommendation. Tennis court lighting at Wills Park. I'll let Morgan answer it.
We have a lighting initiative where we want to replace all of the athletic lighting throughout the system for all sports, including pickleball, tennis, softball, baseball, and football. And we are working toward that. One of the big things we're doing is we think we're going to get a land and water conservation fund to fund half of putting all new lights at North Park. And so we are going to replace the lighting at the tennis courts and the pickleball courts. It's just a matter of when we get the money.
Thank
So
you.
it is our plan to replace all of those with LED lights.
In 2024?
Oh, no. No.
Okay.
No.
I like his
We'll-
optimism.
If we get the grant, then we'll be able to do North Park in 2024, and then we would turn our sights on Wills Park, and then finally Webb Bridge would be the priority that we would move in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Christine, how does, I saw food truck access pad there for Will. How does that work for, I guess, all the parks? Is that like an approval process that the food truck vendors have to like go through? Because I've had questions where people think they could maybe just show up with their food truck and start selling away.
Right, this was an improvement that staff suggested, and it's something we want to think about. There are no food trucks allowed during pavilion rentals in the park right now. It has to be associated with a city event, and yes, they have to be permitted. This is something that we were talking about as far as pavilion rentals and corporate events, especially at the Lions Club Pavilion. We've had so many requests for food trucks, but the problem with food trucks is, number one, it takes up parking spaces, and then they don't have control of people coming up to their food truck, especially if the event planners have paid ahead of time for their people to go get food. So the thought was to come up with a possible plan. I'm not saying this is going to happen. This is a possibility of having a designated spot for a food truck over there, so that we can say yes to those, so we can get corporate groups out there and get them what they need.
On the Grove, is that where you're thinking?
No, we're thinking over by the pavilions, like
Oh.
the Lions Club Pavilion's the one that's in my head.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where we get the most requests for.
Thanks.
What we offer, again, I just want to point out that over 70% of our participants are residents, and we served over 70,000 participants last year. That includes everyone who walked into the Adult Activity Center, everyone who walked into the pool, everyone who registered, all of our youth associations. It's a lot. It's great. It's so exciting to see that number. We hope that we'll be able to continue to serve this and more in the future. On the program area, I just highlighted new things that we've added in, just so you can see that we're constantly, thinking about things that are exciting and fun for people, changing it up, keeping it fresh. We're sticking with the things that we know work. We don't want to upset gymnastics. We don't want to upset dance. There's a lot of things that are really solid in our programming. Preston Ridge is, still evolving as far as programming out there, but they've got a really solid base of people that come. A lot of senior programming out there, which was the daytime goal out there, and we've reached that. We've got a lot of rentals going on out there. It's filled quite a bit of the time. And yes, Cheryl. No, I said yes.
We do golf.
We do golf for kids. We teach them how to golf.
Oh, I thought that meant to be disc golf. I was like,
No,
okay,
yeah,
well, I
we
guess
do.
she meant to put disc golf.
No, golf. We have golfing classes for kids now.
Where do we go for that?
We do that in the gym
Oh.
over at Wills Park Rec Center in the bad weather, and then outside in the good weather. Okay. And then the older kids actually go to their facility because they're longer driving ranges, and we can't do that in the park. So.
And under aquatics, we didn't mention that we offer diving. We do some diving.
We haven't done diving for the last few years.
Oh.
Yeah, it never caught popularity. But we have added some water therapy classes out there. Our new supervisor, Kat, who's been here for almost 2 years now, she's certified in doing that, and so we've got some really good programming out there that we've added. Go ahead.
And for the teens, the skate park?
Skate park. Well, when the skate park comes in, yes, that will be teens.
Oh, we don't have a skate park now? We don't? No.
Well, it's pop-up, but that's really not programmed. It's just a
Oh,
drop
okay.
in. We don't manage
Okay.
that. No.
Yep.
Now, when
When
the
we
skate
have
park at Union Hill goes in, there's a possibility of programming out there.
Yeah.
Teaching kids to skate up till we have the right instructor. So yes.
Yeah.
Navigating the rapids, we do that every day. This is just, I'm not going to go through all of these, but we added a lot more strengths, reduced some of our weaknesses, added some more opportunities, and added one more threat, one we had never thought we would ever see, and that was the pandemic that came in. Any sort of large-scale event that is unpredictable, we found out how that can turn everything upside down. But I am still so proud of my team and how they navigated through that and still provided for our community. So that is always going to be a threat. It's always out there. None of that changed. It's pretty consistent. Any questions on this page? Okay. What's on our route? Key issues. Added a few. Most of the things that we added on here are have to do with special events. Again, because it's so new to my division. And you know, we're still working through that. And this is all new to the strategy. So that's what you see here. One of the gaps we're seeing is ages, and we knew this was coming. This is the baby boomers that are the baby boomer wave that's coming in. Ages 50 to 65 programming specifically for that age group. They're younger, they're healthier, they're more active, and we've identified that we have really two separate groups of active adults now. We have an older group that's very comfortable coming in and doing activities such as games and some line dancing here and there and those types of things, which is great for them. But this age group wants more. So we're working really hard to identify what would be appealing to them. Again, preschool programming. We want to look at some more diverse events catering to cultural groups, which would be really exciting to provide to the community. And the last one there is elevating kid events from the facilities, and that was discussion about, you know, Boo Bash has gotten so big, we now have sponsors, it just was huge. Does that belong there, or does it need to go to special events? So that kind of discussion going on. Any questions on that page?
What is complacency?
Oh, yeah. Complacency. I did add that in because one of the key issues is one thing I do not ever want my staff or myself to do is get complacent in what we do every day. We can't get complacent with just sticking with the same programming year after year. We can't get complacent about not looking at what our community needs. So that to me is a huge thing that we need to stay focused on. We need to stay fresh and get our brains going.
And Christine, with change in staff, what is the tenure and like, tell us, and I saw the staff is listed and perhaps it's better.
Can I address that at the very end? Because I'm going to show you what happened there. So yeah, okay. Thank you. That's a good question. Great. Anything else on here? Okay. This hasn't changed. We still believe in all those things and we still value all those things. And just real quick, I'm going to go through this because I know I'm running long on time here. I'm just going to let you look through these. These are just highlights of things we've added into the different program areas: athletics, aquatics, health and wellness. One of the things we've been really excited about is utilizing our facilities, thinking outside the box and utilizing our facilities and parks more than we have in the past, and also collaboration between divisions. So that's very exciting for all of us. And we will continue to strive to do that. You know, one example is we had the seniors go out to Old Rucker Farm and do an activity out there. We took them out there on the bus, and they had fun doing that. Okay, and then 5-year plan, this is obviously, we are still going to do the things that we were doing before. None of this changes. This is what kept us on track. This is what kept us moving forward. And nothing's going to change there. We're just going to keep plugging along and follow these guidelines. And, okay, staff. Let's talk about that for a minute. When I did the last recreations strategy in 2020, from the time that we did that recreation strategy to now, I have had 9 staff members leave us for various reasons. A lot of them left after COVID, reevaluated what they were thinking about, what they wanted in their lives. I have brought on 8 new people, and I have had 3 people that are already in existing positions in the city come into my division. So a lot of changes with staff. So with that comes a lot of training, a lot of collaboration with each other, a lot of team building, and a lot of training. So that I tell my staff they need to be lifelong learners, and I really push them continuing to grow professionally and personally, and also working together. We do a lot of things together. That's our team. And this team you see here is the best team I've ever worked with, and I've really enjoyed getting to know all of them and developing them as a team. And I feel like our division's been very, very successful in what we've done. So that's it. That's the end. Anybody have any more questions? Brad?
Yeah, do you have like an intern program for the summer when kids are out of school to maybe recruit folks coming in?
We haven't had any in the Recreation Services Division. I know we've had some over in special events. We're always open to that, but the thing is, during the summer, they probably would come in and they would be working heavily with camps or with the aquatics program, just depending on what they were interested in. We're open to that. We have intern positions in the city. So, Cheryl?
Coast is on its way out?
No, I'm not saying it's on its way out. We just need to evaluate it. The numbers keep going down, down, down. So we need to determine why that's happening and what we can do to get more interest in Coast and try to step it back up. It's just, we can't figure out what's going on.
Has the state meet lost interest as well? People just don't do that anymore?
I'm just not sure what their numbers are either. That's something we need to look
Yeah.
into, because last year was a real eye-opener. We like, ooh, geez, it just went real way down. I think there were only 19, maybe 18.
Oh,
That's
not even
very
enough for
many.
relays,
Yeah,
nothing.
that's barely a team.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we're going to look at that.
Then under the, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Under the city special events,
Mhm.
it talked about film permitting. Do you have to do that now? I thought that would be
yes.
community development.
Yes, we can't
or
have people just come in and start filming around the city. They have to ask for a permit so we know where they are, what they're doing, how many trucks they're bringing in, how many people are coming in.
And that's you? That can't
That's
be.
special events.
Oh, has it always been special events?
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons, sorry, Christine,
No,
one of the
go
reasons
ahead.
we did that, and I'm stepping in because I was part of the decision process on that. One of the reasons we put it under special events, Kim will remember this. Was it still, were you still part of my team when we did this? So we, at the time, special events was still part of admin. And what we realized was there was so much similarity when a film is being produced in a given site between what the film folks need and what happens when there's a special event. And so there was a natural coexistence between the special event process and the film process. And so that's why we made the decision to house it there. We tried it briefly. In economic and community development.
Yeah.
That did not go well.
Well, that's not our fault. We're
yeah.
busy. We're doing programs. We're doing stuff here. We don't need to be writing permits for movies.
Yeah. So I get it, but
Yeah.
it's very similar to reviewing a special event permit. I know if you're not in it, it doesn't sound like it makes sense,
No.
but it actually does. The committee that goes out, when special events gets a film permit, it basically goes out to the same committee that evaluates a special event with public safety, code enforcement, right? They just happen to be, Hillary and her folks happen to be the ones who kind of send that out. Hey, here's the rundown. Does anybody have any questions, concerns? If there are any, then we channel it through them.
So can community development send somebody our way to help do this? Because we're busy.
Special events taps into departments across the city to get feedback. So everybody has their specialty within that, just like reviewing a special event.
It actually works really well. It does. But thank you for going to bat for us. Appreciate it.
I think you need more people, Mark.
Derek?
Summer registration's opening up here. Looks like you guys have changed a kind of a start time, like it's
We
now
did.
8 a.m. Can you speak to that? Because I know it was like a concert, opening up at midnight and parents staying awake and things like that.
Yeah, what happened last year, and this is the first year it's happened, it's always open at midnight, but for some reason, last year, a lot of people didn't know it opened at midnight, and by 7 in the morning, Wills Park camp was completely full. And we had a multitude of complaints from people not knowing that it opened up at midnight. So we made the decision to kind of to go ahead and open it up at 8 in the morning, and that kind of gave people the chance to get on before they went to work and be able to take care of that at a reasonable time. Plus, it also allowed staff to be in the office in case there was an issue with registration.
Have we expanded some of them as well? Like I think there was a huge influx for some of the camps. I think you guys were thinking about maybe more spots or more team members to support that, or I don't know.
The problem is capacity in our facilities. So I think we increased it a little bit, but maybe by about 25 kids more. Yeah, but we're busting at the seams.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Wish we could. I wish we could make it even bigger.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Christine, I just want to say a huge thank you to you and your staff. I mean, what a strategy, but also what execution you've done on strategy. As a resident, as a mother, as a consumer myself, I love my city, and this is a huge, huge part of the heartbeat of our city, so thank you. And speaking of registration, can you just remind us when that opens, please?
I sure can, and thank you very much for your support on that. I appreciate hearing that. Registration for residents opens at 8 o'clock a.m. on February 28th, and at 8 o'clock a.m. on March 13th for non-residents.
Okay.
Okay, and we've been getting a lot of questions also about people asking if they could fill out the camp application ahead of time. No, it all starts at 8 o'clock on March 28th. So it's a two-step process for our camps, for our all-day camps.
Okay.
So application first, camp second.
And then just a quick housekeeping thing from our workshop, if appropriate, or if we need to take it offline. I understand the archery program went in a different direction, and I'm just curious if you could give some further context.
I can. The location he determined didn't work for his programming after discussing it more thoroughly.
Okay.
Yeah. Schools have rules, and they did not want them. The rule for Fulton County Schools is that people from the outside can't come onto the grounds during school hours. And he wanted to do programming during school hours, and that just didn't happen, so.
Okay.
But,
But
we'll still bring them in for camps.
Sure, the outside of the box thinking and the diversity of programming,
Yeah,
I think is
from
hairstyling camp that's coming up to pottery to, I mean, golf. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you. And you had fun at the dance.
Oh, my stars.
You guys look fabulous, by the way.
Thank you.
You did. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Park Services, Eric.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing?
Cheryl, I need glasses.
Hi, Eric.
Yeah.
Get your glasses.
So a lot of mine is really much of the same as it was last month. We had a vacant position that we actually just filled, and he started Monday, as a matter of fact, out of Webb Bridge. So actually, currently, for the positions we currently have, I'm actually fully staffed for a long time, probably 2 years.
Yay.
We're actually fully staffed. Also, we're still currently working, on the annual scheduling of the Pine Straw and the mulch. As you see, City Hall was completed, except for the part over by the parking deck, which was forgotten, but they'll take care of that. We're currently working on basic athletic field maintenance to prepare for the upcoming season, filling holes, cutting down high areas on the baseball infields, adding infield mix, leveling fields for drainage, batter's box maintenance. As a matter of fact, Friday, the guys are painting soccer fields because soccer starts on Saturday. So, we only have one game Saturday, but it is starting. So, and next week they start, opening day softball at North Park. So next weekend. So everything's ramping up. Over at Innovation, we're still selectively pruning and removing trees. Trying to fence clearance and things like that. We're also continuing to selectively prune and replace declining trees and plant material and landscape all over. Like Encore, we just, there were 66 replacements out at Encore. I've got the Main Street trees going in. There's 6 of them out here. There's a few more on Park Plaza. So, a couple.
One at Cogburn.
The Yellowwood at Cogburn.
Thank you.
Yep. In fact, I should pick it up. It'll be in this week.
Thank you.
And basically, until the rest of the month, we're, continue to prune and plant through February. These are the months to do that stuff. And, ball field maintenance is ongoing throughout the season. And, that concludes my report.
Questions?
Thank you.
Good evening. How are you? Great. I'm going to kind of piggyback on what Eric said. Obviously, this is our time to where we're working on our athletic fields and getting everything ready for our spring season. So it's hard to believe that baseball's starting here in a couple of weeks. Staff's also been enlarging the playground by the rec center. We've extended that border. We know that we're going to lose some playground space here in the future, so we're kind of prepping that area to take in more people more comfortably in that area. So the Wills Park Equestrian Center, we've got a new concessionaire that'll be coming on board here in March. So we've kind of gone in and gutted the whole concession stand, and we've got new equipment, new countertops, everything's still being delivered, it's being put together as we speak. But that's going to be obviously a much needed upgrade for the events and the equestrian events, horse shows, and the dog shows, and all the special events out there. So,
Matt, it used to be, I think, just cash only there, because we were having to go once and they wouldn't
yeah,
take cards.
so
Is that going to change? Or?
We were actually getting Wi-Fi there, so they'll be able to take cards.
Okay.
And, yeah, bring us into this, into the times. So that concludes my report. Yes,
Well, to
ma'am.
piggyback on that, sorry.
I'm just curious, the stream buffer project,
Yes.
is it considered a success? Like, can you just give us a quick update?
The reforestation project?
Reforestation, why, thank you.
Yes, so that's still being, all the plantings have been done. I know they've replanted some trees that didn't make it. That buffer will stay up for another growing season until all those plants are established. So yes, it has been a success. I'm tired of looking at the orange fence, but it's in place for a reason for right now.
Broadwell, you can see an orange fence there too.
That's true, that's true.
Have you had I'm sorry. Have you had a chance to ask about access to the stream, organized access to the stream when you take off the orange fencing?
That's a very good question. And I know Public Works is kind of spearheading that project for that grant, but I think we're going to have to probably have that conversation once that fence comes down.
Somebody in particular over there that, just anybody? Okay. Yeah, okay. No, but people go in there all the time. Like, that's where they go. When the kid gets done playing on the swing, they all head to the stream. And if they're going to try to keep that stuff that they planted, they're going to have to give them access, because otherwise they're just going to tromp through wherever. Like, that is what's going to happen.
Thank you. Oh.
Well, yeah, I think I just want to follow up on the concession. Does that mean there's one vendor for the whole year? Because I know we went several times last year. I think one time we had the lady who was working it actually wanted us to Venmo her the money. So is it one consistent vendor there the whole time?
Yeah, so we've got a new vendor that'll be starting out, yes. Okay. So, yeah, they'll be there for the year. Perfect. Yeah.
Does that mean last year there were many people who could come run the concession stand?
No, we've had the same group that was at the concession stand for 15 years.
Well, did you go to a special event? Is that what you went to? Like, did you go to the rodeo or something like that?
Yes.
Do they bring in does the rodeo bring in their own vendor for the concessions?
They bring in their own other food vendors as well. That's one of the only events that we allow to do that. But that's good point, Brad. That's kind of why we've kind of moved on from that concessionaire, so we won't have those problems moving into the future. So.
Matt, I'm sorry, I'm having a really hard time hearing the answers to the questions. So to confirm, the questions are whether or not we're moving away from cash-only vendors at equestrian concessions, is that correct?
Cash will be accepted, but card will also be accepted.
Okay, so the answer is moving forward, we're going to have multiple forms of payment?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Senior Operations Manager.
First off, I would just like to congratulate our entire staff, the Recreation, Parks, and Cultural Services staff, for a job well done in 2023 and the exciting things that they're planning for in 2024. Christina and the team is doing a wonderful job. Their strategic plan is spot on. Eric and Matt's team are making and paving the way to make sure that those exciting strategic plans happen. This team, this department can't run without each division doing their thing. And if each division doesn't do their thing, we're not going to be successful. So I'm just proud to be a part of this team and proud to be part of this staff and look forward to exciting things in 2024. So having said that, let's just move on. And I just want to touch on a few projects that have been going on that we've been working on since the fiscal year started in July, and things are starting to really starting to happen. First of all, with the park enhancements, as you are aware, the pickleball and tennis courts at North Park, we have completed, but yet there's more that we're going to do. We have some money left over, and we're going to be able to do some enhancements around the grounds area to kind of complete that process. So you got the tennis courts and the pickleball courts resurfaced looking good. Now we're going to get the grounds looking good. And then at Webbridge Park, the dog park is still on schedule to open up mid-year. We're excited about that, and it's progressing. On other related projects, in North Park turf, the pole removal, as I would call it, the woodpecker project. It is moving along, and we should be able to have those lights installed by the 1st of March, like we hope, and that should be able to get our programming and not impact our programming as we need them more as the spring goes on.
But Kurt, I want to stop you there for a second.
Yes.
The woodpeckers might be banging on those poles, but if there weren't bugs inside the poles, the woodpeckers wouldn't be banging on them. So let's not just blame the whole problem on those cute little woodpeckers. Okay, because
I hear what you're saying, but that is what I named the project, and that's what I'm going to stick to.
Let me jump in here for just a second.
So, but I'm going to say one thing. We're going to alleviate that problem by making those poles metal and concrete all throughout the parks for ourselves.
That's fine. I'm just saying.
But those woodpeckers were not after bugs. They were building homes in there.
But the bugs must have made a space for them. They're not going to go.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, there's a condominium. They made a condominium of it. At one pole, there was no doubt. There was 12 holes on one pole on one side. They weren't after bugs. They were after a place to live because they hollow out big enough for that woodpecker to live in that. So they're not after bugs. They were after a home.
Okay.
Have you seen? I mean, you've seen the woodpeckers we're talking about, and they're like, they're big. But no, we're going to alleviate that issue.
That's fine.
And make sure that we have metal and concrete poles as we are. And of course, we're going to address the tennis courts as well. So, where was I? Yeah. The Web Zone project. That is going to be happening, and we should be getting that playground reinstalled by mid-year. So, which is great because that's probably about right around the same time that the Wacky World construction project will be going. So to have that feature park open and new, and it being less than 5 miles away from Wills Park, we really want to try to get people to utilize Web Zone, while Wacky World is being reinstalled. The Miracle League field replacement, we have scheduled that finally, and that's going to be happening in August. We're working around the Miracle League programming and also the vendors and trying to get products in. So the month of August versus September is really when that's going to be going down. Other projects, the Waters Road project, they've installed the driveway. And looks like they're going to be working on the playground next. We're hoping that part's going to be opening up probably in May. The construction's about 20 days behind with rain days, which is expected. So, we figure it'll finish up in March. And then and by the time it's all said and done, we'll open this thing up in April and May. Mid-Broadwell Park, I know that that's exciting. Same thing, the playground, I just confirmed with the vendor today, the playground's going to be delivered and installed in April. So once again, we should be able to open up that park around the same time. And then Wills Park proper, the exciting news about that is that bid went out, it was posted last week. And that's focusing on the Wacky World area, as you would call it. You know, that's going to be the site work for the new playground and also building the new restrooms. So that's going to be phase one of the bond project. And that's really launching here. And so we'll be getting in construction probably the 1st of June on that. Do we have any other questions? Yes, sir.
I just had a quick question on the Waters Road. Can you remind me, is there an entrance on the corner of Kimball Bridge and Waters Road?
Yes.
Okay.
You talk about Waters Road Park? Yeah, Waters Road and Kimball Bridge Road, yeah.
So like, is there an entrance at the corner like we were talking about Wills Park? Meaning, or is the entrance only from the two sides?
Waters Road, you're gonna have a driveway access off of Kimball Bridge, and then you're gonna have a pedestrian access off of Waters Road. Gotcha. Yeah. I understood your question there, but it took me a minute, so.
That was my bad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
TK.
Director Morgan, Director Rogers. Good evening. Seems like it's been a long time since I've shown y'all.
Yeah.
So,
Glad to see you.
and the fact that we're late now, I know we're almost, an hour and a half into the meeting? It's not going to deter me from doing exactly what I plan to do, just so you know. Just pull it up. I will go through this. But we had talked about wanting to give y'all a update. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do two things at one time, and I'm not very good at it. The highlights of 2023. So I picked out 25 highlights that I'm going to run through real quick. And these are just the highlights. This isn't everything we've done, as you could see today. But I had to pick them out, and I'm going to go as quick as I can. Arena 3 at Wills Park is now, we are getting close to that state-of-the-art facility. Now 2 of our arenas are state-of-the-art. You can take a fire hose from a fire truck and turn it on that, and it will just sit there, and as soon as you cut the water off, you can start doing horses again. It is really a cool thing, and we're getting real close to moving to replacing the other 2 and 4. So I love that picture in the midair. You can see the concentration on the young lady's face. If you hadn't taken the opportunity to go see a horse show, do that this year. Replacement of Field 4, it just turned out really well. We were able to do some of the fence work, some of the netting work, and we cleaned up the dugouts really well, and it turned out really, really good, and going to be good for another 10, 12 years there at Field 4 in Wills Park, and that is like our showcase field. That's where we do opening day, and it really turned out well. To your question, Cheryl,
Yeah.
we successfully turned Gym 2 into a gymnastics facility because that's where our programming need was, and it is, that program, gymnastics, has just absolutely taken off on us, and it's a great program. We finally got the maintenance shop open. I know that's not exciting to a lot of you. It is very exciting to us. But you can see the outside as well as the inside. We've been able to move into that, and that really just gives us the ability to maintain our parks at a better level because we can keep all of our stuff in one place. And it's just really fun. If you haven't been back there, we'd be glad to take you back there and show it. We renovated the area at Union Hill, made it into a special event facility. You can see from this, you can see the light bars and the sound bars that stay there. So when they come out to do a concert, they just have to hang the lights or the speakers up. You can see the really big fans there. There's 2 of those, and how that whole thing looks. We're real proud of Union Hill, and we think this is going to be a banner year with not only concerts, but I Can Bike programs and other programs. Shamrock and for Cures is moving out there. and Grill Fest by Atlanta Magazine that's coming to Union Hill this year. So we're really excited about that. We did a lot of work on signage around. Shows you obviously the rec center and the community center in Wills Park. But now anytime you see that blue sign, you know you're close to fun. This is a good example of on the left where we did the wayfinding for Greenway. We had 7 miles of Greenway without a single sign to tell anybody how to get to. And if you left one of our access parks and you got to the Greenway, if you're not real familiar, when you get back, a lot of those entrances look the same. So we're real proud of our sponsorship. The Alpharetta Convention and Visitors Bureau paid for half of the signage, and we had money in our budget to pay for the other half. And if on that pole there, on one side there's a QR code. If you hit that with the QR code, it goes to the CVB's website. But where it goes on the website is a map of the city of the Greenway and says you are here. Then you can click there from things to do and all like that. So it's a really good project. And then to the right, you can see those are 2 of the manhole covers for the sewer project. They really turned out very well along that stretch. This is on Old Canton, right there, what used to be called Old Milton Park, but it's now North Main Street Park. We were able to put that brick wall in to extend that park a little bit, made that park bigger because it sloped off drastically, but it also helped with the brickwork because the brickwork was just falling apart because there was nothing, there was no curb on that. So that cleaned up that street a lot. It's one of those pictures where if you see it now, you think, oh, that looks okay. If you remember what it looked like crap. So it just looks a lot better. We redid the basketball courts at Wills Park. This turned out really well. Tyler Spinnenweber led this project. He picked out the colors, a little bold color there on the tennis courts. This is a heavily used facility. Anybody that goes up down in Wills Road knows that this is one of the heaviest used facilities that we have day in and day out. It turned out really well, and we're real pleased with that project. Kind of a small project that changed a lot of what downtown is. If you're looking at that tree, that curb around that tree, we came back in and put that curb. And so if you notice now, every one of those bricks are straight. Before we did this project, there weren't many straight bricks in downtown because they were leaning toward the mulch. And so that really helped clean up that. And then Eric and his group were able to come in and replant all the trees. And I think we're real close now to replanting all the downtown trees, which was a phenomenal project because I think we had to replace about 42 trees, I think was the number, in all of downtown. The pickleball courts at North Park, really one of our true success stories. I've told staff, I think this sets the bar of how we want things to look at when we finish with a project, kind of like the pool. You ride by the pool and you say, man, that looks cool. That's the way this facility is. So great job by Kevin and Kevin out at North Park and everybody that worked on that. It really turned out well. We painted Wills Park Recreation Center. Again, if you went by in the old days, it looked, you didn't really notice it, but now it really does, pop out. And the next thing we're going to get ready to do is the landscaping there. So repainting that building was a big deal. We were able to hire a downtown crew. So this is Brett and Jose. They are full-time downtown, keeping downtown looking good. And I think if you've been walking around downtown lately, if you'll stop and notice, it just looks better. Our goal is for you never to see a full trash can and for you never to see any trash on the ground and just to enjoy your stay when you come downtown. And they have hit the ground running from anything back here at Brook Street all the way to Innovation Academy, including the Alpha Loop. This is a shot of, we were able to start Waters Road. There's your entrance to Waters Road Park.
You can't drive
there at the corner. Of course, this is not done yet. This is early stages of getting that one underway. So we're getting close. We had a joint program with the Alpharetta Youth Baseball Association out at Webb Bridge. The dugouts weren't big enough for the teams now because they do a lot of tournaments out there, and the teams that travel are a little bit bigger. So we were able to expand the dugouts. That you can see that on the left, and if you look on the right, we kind of painted everything black so that you don't notice things like the electrical box on the right, but we also put up new shade structures up there as well. So that area, and we took out some trees that were encroaching in the play area. So that area at Webb Ridge really got a complete facelift, and it looks great. This is where the new dog park is at Webb Ridge. This is just the first phase of it where we cleared out the underbrush. Cheryl, we did not cut down any trees to build
I'm talking
this
to
dog
Millie
park.
after this. I just went up there the
We
other
cleaned
day.
up this area, and this is going to be where the new dog park is, hopefully open next month. Let me make sure okay, we broke attendance records for both the Taste of Alpharetta and Wironwood Singer-Songwriter Festival, and you can just see that. We also realigned where we're doing the tree lighting. This is a shot from the stage right in front of City Hall, so we were able to accommodate a much bigger crowd for the tree lighting this year.
Where was the tree?
The tree is straight ahead. It's not lit yet. This was taken before I left.
Oh, it's the fountain tree?
It's on top of the fountain, yeah. Mhm.
Oh, because we have a real tree over here, don't we? That we were gonna light?
There was a real tree planted there with the idea to do that, but it's not very conducive for a tree lighting because there's a building right beside it and other landscaping around it. So when we're able to get we've got the tree on the fountain. We did a eclectic music concert series at the Art Center last summer that was received very well. It was a huge success, and we're going to be bringing that back this year as well. We built, excuse me, this is the wall that we built in front of Town Green to keep balls and kids from running out on the street. I think it really changed the feel of Town Green, made it much safer. I bet nobody's got any water, do you? Made it much safer. And you notice, you notice that that white stuff, that's just the brick oxidizing. We've cleaned it off once, it comes back, and we're going to keep cleaning it off until it doesn't come back.
Or should we just paint it white? You know, that seems to be a thing.
We'd have to get a permit to paint it white. Yep. We also officially named 9 venues in the city as official Music City venues.
Yeah, what's that?
Complete with signage. And now if you go, if you look up, do that QR code right there on that sign, it takes you to the Alpharetta Music City webpage hosted by the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and they keep up with all the live music that is going on in Alpharetta because we're really trying to strategically get more music in the city.
So only 9 for a while there. We were trying to hit as anybody who asked could have a match, a music match.
Yeah, that's still the same. Yeah, these are just venues that host music on a regular basis. So this is not like the music match. Most of those folks are restaurants or downtown businesses. So these are like the Art Center has regular music. The amphitheater is a Music City venue. Union Hill is a Music City venue.
What about like the Velvet Note?
The Velvet Note, it has a sign. They're a Music City venue.
Oh, okay.
Roaring Social is a Music City venue. So all of the places that have regularly scheduled music are now a Music City venue. And the CVB is doing a brochure just for those venues.
Okay, there we
go. To help promote those venues.
That's the point.
We redid the Sarah Camp Garrison grave at Rest Haven Cemetery. This was a project that Kim was headed up. If you went out there before, this wall was literally crumbling and falling apart. And this was the first grave in the Rest Haven Cemetery for Sarah Camp Garrison. It was her family that donated the land for the cemetery. So that was the first grave in the cemetery. So the city paid to have that wall redone. So as we are trying to improve the look of Rest Haven, it needs some work. I mean, it's right here in our downtown, and so it needs some help. But that's really a huge improvement there. And if you're wondering why the strange steps are there, because that's what was there originally. The steps were just like that
Well, you gotta get in there to mow and
Yeah.
put flowers.
Yeah. So we installed 10 benches and swings as part of our memorial bench program throughout the city. As you can see, these the swing on the right and the benches on the left. So that's 10. You know, these run about, how much are they? How much are the benches?
Memorial bench about 1,800.
Yeah. So it doesn't take you much math to know that how much money we saved the city by having a memorial program if we put in 10 of them. At
That bench
$2,000.
comes with a hat on it? That's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's, you know, and we give them the opportunity to kind of customize it within reason, you know, within reason.
And get in.
Yeah. And then this is the reforestation of the stream bank. You can see how well it's taking. You know, we got to get through, as Matt said, one more growing season with this, and then we'll be able to take the orange fence down and kind of see how it goes from there.
If you put a walkway, otherwise they're just.
Well, we can talk about this offline, but you can't put a walkway down to the creek because you're within the stream bank, so you can't do that.
Something.
So, well, but we've got to figure that out. But again, the bank is starting to recover, as you can see.
Very nice.
We're doing a lot, folks. There's a lot being done by our team. We've got a good team, and I'm telling you, I'm really proud of the things that we're doing. Be glad to answer any questions that you may have, but that's the end of my report. If you may got any questions?
I know
glad
you
to
guys
answer.
want to go home. I do have a question. The note said that it's called the Evans Family Christmas Tree Lighting Event?
Mhm.
The Evans, I don't know them, but when did,
The Evans family, 3 years ago, donated the Christmas tree that sits on the fountain. It's a $70,000 Christmas tree. They bought it and gave it to the city with the stipulation that we always had to call it the Evans family Christmas tree.
okay. All right, there we go. All right, that's my only question.
Just a comment.
Don't want a plastic
Morgan,
tree.
these are more than projects. This truly is a legacy, and your leadership, your fingerprints, your standards are evident throughout the entire city. So thank you so much for your leadership and your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who's got their phone? Yes, that's great.
It's been moved by Commissioner Saha and seconded by Commissioner Rand that we adjourn the meeting at 6:49. I'll now call for a vote. Vote.
Look, we all voted.
Passes 8-0.
Yeah.
And we're even tonight. I believe